button and we'll see what happens.
See the
2, 3, 2, 1. Hello, comrades, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. I also have Audrey.
Hi guys.
She's probably not going to be here for the whole thing. Also, the screen is black. If you haven't picked up on the fact that Trainz is not running. Trainz is not running yet. I'm installing the new update, which took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Although, in fairness, I meant to start it yesterday, and I forgot. So, in the meantime, while we wait for this thing to install, I think we'll just play Tetris. So, let's do that. Oh, OBS is having problems. There we go. So, we'll do this while it installs. I know this is what everyone wants to see, especially Tyler. So, let's play some not Tetris. And I hope everyone's having a good Thursday. And if you are watching the VOD of this and you don't want to watch Tetris, I don't know, just skip ahead. Today we're going to, I'm going to look at any changes that have come with the newest update, and we're going to talk about the newest update a little bit, and I'm probably going to look at the new living railroad system. Hey, Pat. And how we might be able to use it to our advantage. Because honestly, I don't know if it's going to be a blessing or a curse. I don't know if it's, right now is going to look anything like its final form, and I don't know if that final form is going to invalidate all the work that we've been doing. So that's the thing that I've been concerned about ever since that was announced, although I think it is really cool that Trainz is going in that direction, because making this sort of living world is exactly what I consider to be my forte and what I like about Trainz. So, anyway. Oh, it says operation complete, so I guess we're just going to finish this one game of not Tetris, and then we'll go on to the game, the Trainz. That was a really bad play on my part. That was also pretty terrible. This is not a great... Well, you know what? If you wanted this to end quickly, you're certainly going to get your wish. Let's do that.
What's gonna end quickly? The whole video or this?
This game of not Tetris. Don't do that.
I'm not going to do that.
Alright.
That is in my way.
In your way of what?
My
Fiddling?
My finger went like this.
Don't be fiddling.
What do you mean fiddling?
Don't be fiddling.
What does fiddling mean?
Fiddling's what you're doing. You're fiddling.
What's that?
Audrey's fiddling.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. I'm watching you
No.
fiddle.
What is this? A fiddle? I don't know what that
It's
is.
the same as fidgeting, except it's fiddling.
What's a fidgeting?
You know what fidgeting is.
No, I don't.
You've had fidgets before.
What? Fidget toys? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's not that. That's not.
You use a fidget toy when you fidget.
When I get to...
Where do you think the word comes from? You fidget.
Fidget.
Right, that's not going to fit in there. Oh, there we go. It went. It went. Okay, cool. We're off to a decent middle.
I played a sort of game like that before.
Yeah. I bet you've never played this game before.
No, I don't have.
You probably played regular Tetris, which is much more sane. This is going quite well, though, all of a sudden. We're just going to be left with some random bits and bobs down the bottom. And I just slammed that into the bottom at max speed. I didn't mean to do that.
The train game's almost...
That didn't work.
Why'd you go...
Because I was using extreme pressure. I was pushing it. Alright. Let's get this over here. It will speed up over time. I can't do this forever. Let's do that. But come on, we got 1,400 points. Let's try to beat our high score, which is like 5,000 or something. Once upon a time, I had a high score of like 7,000. That was a long time ago.
Why'd you say once upon a time?
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time there was a horse.
Yeah.
Once upon a time there was an Ellis.
That's true.
Once upon a time there was a Lafayette.
He's a good boy.
Yeah.
Oh, I touched it very subtly. Didn't mean to do that. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot.
God.
I'm panicking. I'm out of control. Everything's out of control. Alright, never mind. We're good. We're good.
Stick.
Ooh, right in there. Alright, that was a good move. I liked that. I'm proud of myself. This is a game that makes you proud of yourself. Probably not.
Probably.
Nobody should be proud of themselves for playing this. Least of all me. But you can be proud of yourselves for watching me. That's fine. You can do that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this there.
They can be proud of their stuff.
With force. Nope, that was not good.
There's only just this guy and nobody else.
I don't know, I can't see the number. But if anybody is here other than Pat, you're welcome to say hello. If nobody's here other than Pat, you're a real cool person.
Or maybe Pat left.
Maybe Pat left. Pat's a busy man. He has to wear a lot of hats every day. Listen, the man's got a lot of hats.
Really, if anybody's here, just say hello.
Or don't.
Or if
You don't have to. We respect that.
Yeah.
You don't have to say hello. You can say whatever you want.
You can say hi, bye, hi, bye, hello, nice to see you.
Alright, we're doing good. We're like halfway to our high score. Okay.
And the train name's still loading.
No, it's all set. I can open it if I want. Pat is a man of many hats. When I think hats, I think Pat.
Hats.
It's true.
L-A.
Oh, shoot.
Lamb.
Lamb?
Okay. I'm spelling this out.
Yeah.
And man for a
Uh-oh. This is going poorly very quickly. Uh-oh. Oh, we got a lucky break. Gonna put this over here, gonna put this over here.
Yeah.
Let me start thinking ahead a little bit. Yes!
Yeah.
Alright, there we go. Recently got a hat with a rubber duck on it. Is it actually a rubber duck, or is it a picture of a rubber duck? Because a hat with a rubber duck on it is really kind of impressive. A hat with a picture of a rubber duck, I have to ask why you felt the need to own that. But then again, I assume there will not be any rational answer because you are just Hat Man.
Hat Man. Hey guys, I'm Hat Man.
Again, which is something that I respect you for. But, man, you've got a lot of hats. Oh, crap. Uh-oh. 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 This is... Man, this thing's full. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. It's a long story, apparently. Oh, we made it into the top scorers. All right, 08, 10, 23. That's today's date. I'm going to close that out, and we're going to reopen Trainz, which I assume... I just closed the installer, so it might... I'm going to say high settings, but I'm definitely going to have to change that later. It just asked me what my settings are, which I don't know why it didn't just... Oh, great. Telling me it's not going to do an asset database repair now. No! Alright. Well, I guess we're back to not Tetris. Your nickname at work is Rubber Ducky?
Rubber Ducky. I have a rubber ducky.
Am I allowed to ask how you got the name Rubber Ducky? Because that's quite a name.
That's a cute name.
At least I tried. Yeah, I know. I tried my heart out. I was so happy that we were done and we could go and fiddle around with the Living Rabbit settings. I don't even know what it's... Again, I don't know what I'm getting into. Does it involve Black Mac R?
What?
I don't know what that is.
No, me either. Oh, there's a new guy. Another
Yeah, it's
new
Orion.
person.
Orion hangs around.
Hey, guys.
How's the download going? The download's done. What's not done is the asset database repair that decided to go with it. So, yeah. We're having a fun time here.
Yeah, we're playing Cheshires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not really sure how I got the nickname. Okay, fair enough.
On the stack.
Yeah.
You lost the point.
Where? What do you mean?
On the stack.
What stack?
On the first stack.
There we go.
Ooh,
Ooh,
yeah.
what about
Where
right?
we go that way?
No, right here.
Hold on.
Oh,
You should have went over
I
there.
touched it too soon. How do you know what a Mac R is? Have you seen Convoy? Oh, not in a really, really long time.
No.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. Half the problem with this game is the controls, which I suppose is the point. Oh, no!
No, if it went through, it'll work. It went through.
There we go. That's skills right there.
Skills. Everybody
Say wayo.
Everybody say Ayo.
A haste.
Everybody say S. Everybody say C.
Maybe East and I should, I'm sure East is busy with the grind. I was gonna say, maybe I could play chess, while I wait for this asset database repair.
But it's almost done.
Maybe. Or maybe that's just the first phase, I don't know.
Or if it finished.
Knight E3. I'm not good enough at chess to do that, and you know it. I don't think you're good enough at chess to do it either. I am Magnum Carlos. Chess and coffee. These are a few of Kurt's favorite things. Holy hell, yeah. Something, something, same joke every time. Oh my god, I'm having brain damage. Bing Long Castle. Nuke chess. Fog of War chess is a fun one. I like that one. I don't think I've gotten to play that one with East. I don't know if it's on Elite Chess, the Superior Chess website. This is going really poorly. I'm not making any lines. This is the worst. Oh, we got one. Okay. Oh, we got two. Three. Okay, is the whole stack gonna come down now? Not quite. No! Okay. Speaking of which, BRB, I got myself a new latte machine and I'm gonna use it. That's great.
That's cool.
I'm doing okay if it weren't for this database repair. Okay. Let's see. Let's do that. That was smooth.
Oh, I got.
You have Lafayette.
You had Lafayette.
Hi, Lafayette. He's a good boy.
Hi.
Oh no. Yahoo Short Castle. Rip Yahoo as like a relevant website. Unless you do fantasy football and stuff, then Yahoo's still great. I don't know why Yahoo got to be like the cool thing for that and nothing else. This is not good.
He's eepy.
He is eepy.
He's eepy.
The pupper is very tired. He is eepy.
Dog.
Figured if I want mocha or chai tea, how about those 3 months in dry dock for BB62? Yeah, I heard about that. I haven't really looked into any of the details, but it's cool to see that happening, especially, you know, it's like a nice 1-2 punch of battleship work after Texas. So, it's nice to see museum ships getting love, especially the big ones. Alright. There. And here.
You still have that on there.
Have what on where? Yeah. Well, I haven't set up the mirror yet so I can see the TV again, but it's still there. I could use it again if I wanted to. It would just take a lot of duct tape and effort.
Oh yeah. The AC's now up, so it doesn't fall down anymore.
Yeah, that's also nice. Tape is a solution to many problems. I'm not, just to clarify, I'm not holding up an entire air conditioner with tape. The vent kept pointing at the ground.
Yeah, when I was sitting down on the couch, it kept on falling on my head and it was cold.
Yeah.
Very cold.
There we go. Which is good, because that's the point of the air conditioner.
Yes.
The Iowas are not getting reactivated. No, they're not. Which shouldn't really come as a surprise to anybody, but it's funny to me that they had to clarify that to stop the meme posting in the hype train that would inevitably result.
They're still making
Build
memes.
Montana. Frankly, I don't think Montana exists.
Who's Montana?
Exactly. Hannah.
Hannah Montana?
Mm-hmm.
The
The
real
battleship.
Oh, I thought you meant Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana, the battleship.
Hannah Montana.
We build Bismarck. No, don't.
No, we do not. See, it's uploading. It's uploading.
It's going. It's working. It's doing a good job.
Yep. Still.
That was anticlimactic. Alright, that's done. Now we just
can
need to
start
finish
the
this.
show.
Texas, New Jersey Kid, the Sullivans, which I always found the name of the Sullivans very strange. I think another ship going into dry dock sometime this decade. And also, this is, can't forget, it's on the heels of the Constitution being in dry dock for as long as it was, which was a big deal. I know that's a little bit different of a story because the Constitution is still an active Navy vessel, or at least a commissioned one. It depends how you define active. But, you know, it also has got some love this past decade. I'm not suddenly playing poorly. I'm thinking, and it's not going well. Tejas.
What in the world?
I said Texas. I keep getting ads for visiting Texas, like Texas tourism, which state visiting ads are always kind of weird. I feel like Texas is like one of 3 states that definitely doesn't need tourism ads.
Well, that there's a lot of people.
It's like Texas, Florida, California, and probably New York, unless you're, you want to market specifically upstate. Why do you need an advertisement for that? Who hasn't heard of Texas?
Oh, they're talking about the Texas ad?
Yeah, because they're talking about the battleship Texas, which is in dry dock. But European Texas and Texas. Pat, I'd rather. Well, I would go and I would visit Kivon. Oh shoot! I tried to put that from the left over to the right.
I'm on. Me and Buddy gonna watch the movie together.
Do you know what movie you're gonna watch?
I don't know.
No.
We'll figure it out.
Hey Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Let's put that over there.
Brian from Family Guy.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Dun, dun, dun.
If it was Brian from Family Guy, he'd live a lot closer than Canada.
Guess what?
What?
Ma, Stewie.
What?
This is Stewie. This is Stewie. Mama. What?
Dragon, you're
Hi.
late. You haven't missed a single thing. I've been having an awful run at Tetris here, and not only am I about to lose, which there we go, I've just been waiting for a database repair. Alright. We're
Now
done
we
with
get
that.
to
No,
play
this
the
is not
game.
Gloria.
I am Audrey. I'm not. I look
Alright.
like. Everybody.
So, we're done with that. Let's boot up Trainz. And I might have to fix my settings
Do I
once or
look like
twice
Gloria?
or 3 times.
Do I even look like Gloria?
I mean, you do literally look like Gloria. You are Gloria's sister. But
yeah, I'm not.
you are
this,
not Gloria.
Gloria's bigger. I'm little,
Well, yeah, Gloria is like 15 years older than you.
and I'm 9 years old. Cheater.
33?
I mean, I'm
Gloria's not 33.
nothing.
No, that's not. Gloria's not 33. Nice try, though. What is this? Hey, what font size do you want on the card? Just give me a few. Anyway. Might do some lore building. Lore. This is British. I mean, that's not British. That's not British. I kind of wish it cycled through all the different locomotives you have, but I could understand why that wouldn't make sense. First of all, the game would have to figure out a locomotive, and second of all, you would definitely have situations where, oh, the shadows are on now. Oh, shoot, the game was definitely not on high before. Uh-oh. Alright, we're gonna have to turn this down. Also, wait, what is the render distance on? Settings. We're gonna have to reboot this. Oh, draw distance at 8,000 meters. Post-processing is at ultra. Yeah, no, let's set that to that. Let's just turn it down piece by piece. Alright, let's try that again. Okay, let me go into the Trainz settings really quick. Set these things. Performance, anti-aliasing, don't process the objects behind the shader quality, standard, texture detail, low, post-processing, high, water quality, high, detail, scenery, clutter, and turf effects. Okay, I guess, okay, let me restart the game, which I'm glad that I have this little window in the corner so you can check me. I got TS 2012 and it's like 2009, except there are 3 steam engines and like 50 locos. Well, at least you can just throw, you can just start getting some content, throw it in there. There's still places you can download old school stuff. Alright. Edit session. Let's try this again. I turned things down. I literally do not remember what my settings were before this update. I didn't think they wouldn't stay, but they didn't stay. So now we have to feel that out again. I know they were pretty low. Alright. I think I need to pay for that stuff. No, you don't. Not everything. There's lots of freeware out there. There genuinely is. On different websites and things like that. There is some stuff. Alright, this looks better. Magic trick?
You use a colored marker.
This looks good.
You use your marker.
Yep.
You put it on a piece of paper. You color it down. You grab a white crayon or a white color pencil, and then you color down, and you see the white. See?
Oh, I see. Okay, hold on. Is there like a living railroad rule or something? I don't actually know how to turn this on. Log junctions. Or do I have to go into the session for this? Let's look. Use train zone. Yeah. Exit surveyor. So I need to be in 2.0. That's fair. Well, I'm gonna go into the backup and start messing around. Because I don't want to break anything. And I have it already exported to CDP in case I do break things. Let's just jump into here. Let's go into edit session. Let's, they are both frustrating and make me angry. Yeah. Making the route I find to be much less frustrating and a lot more zen. Whereas making the AI is a lot more, like, stretching your brain out, you know? Maybe I should try this on a route that isn't Tolbrand first to try to get the hang of it. Upgrade the copy to the HD terrain and see what happens. I don't know if I want to do that. Probably pain and suffering for my computer is what happens. Okay. Yeah, this is still higher than I had it. There's still a good amount of post-processing that's going on. But let's go to Surveyor 2.0 and see what happens. Let's see. So I have some things over here. Making AI is like training a dog. No, dogs are smarter than that. Alright, this. Hmm. I click on this. Edit properties. Okay, this is neat. General goods will run out in whatever. Oh, this is neat. Okay, so 1440 minutes is, well, that should be half a day. It should be. Divided by 60 is 24. Oh no, that's one day. That's perfectly accurate. Yeah, consumes. Okay, well that's correct. Is this what you were looking at, TJ? I don't actually recall, because that's your standard multiple industry. Let's look at one of these other ones. Edit properties. $10,000 wood chips and 1 lumber. Okay. Well, that doesn't seem to display legacy details window. Okay, there we go. It's mostly just HUD changes. Oh, okay. I thought there was more going on here. I was getting really worried about what whatever the next thing was. But I do like the HUD changes. Oops, wrong thing. Edit properties. I mean, these are nice. Although I will definitely have to display legacy details view window. The fact that I can't... Oh, consumes 12, produces 12. The fact that I can't mark down exactly what, that's kind of a really big problem. I should be able to write 12 somewhere. Which is upsetting that I can't, because how is one supposed to dial that in? I suppose you just have to use the regular window here. That's interesting. I feel like that's a slightly major oversight, because I need to be able to put in an exact number. Like this. I like the way it looks. Like it's a snappier and like more modern overview, but you know, that's not good. Also, Coal Mountain 721 minutes, which 721 minutes divided by 60 is 12 hours ish. Which means this is probably doing double what it should be doing. It should be consuming half of that. Everything should be... Oh, shoot. I wish I could click on this. This and this alone. There we go. I got it. Edit properties. 1440 minutes. So yeah, I think this coal dock here is over-consuming, which, oops, I didn't mean to do that. But okay, well, I guess I'm not scared of the terrain changes. Let's see, marquee tool. Converge existing baseboards to HD grid. Alright, so it does do the baseboard. Ground conversion is incomplete due to texture limitations. Oh, and the water is gone. Oh, right, of course, I can't convert it because of the texture situation. It only works with the nice textures, right? And, okay, there wasn't a road there before. I'm not sure if it actually did anything. It looks like it did, but I can't completely tell. Well, it hasn't exactly made my life better so much as it did yours, so I'm gonna just undo that, and we're gonna go over to the, we're gonna back out of the backup. And we're gonna go and work on things. Hello, Master Badger. Darn it. I have no water. Alright, well, we've got to work on scenery anyway. We've got 2 hours. We're going to get something done. I was really curious about what that was going to bring to the table, but really it's just brought the annoyance of the post-processing settings, I don't know what they were, and a UI which looks really nice and works really not so nice. So, unfortunately, I am less than impressed. But, you know, you have to do the whole route for HD terrain? Well, I'm not doing that. I think you can just do it by tile. But even then, that's not very granular, and that's kind of what I was doing with the 5 and 10 meter grid already. And if it's limiting the textures I can use, which I know there are a lot of really good textures out there, try this for 5 secs, not impressed. Yeah, because I'm not impressed. Like, I'd have to redo my water. It can't complete it because of the different textures. I would have to do so much work to get it to be usable, and I don't know if I really care that much. I'm okay with the, you know, I'm okay with the 5 meter grid. It's not incredible, but it's all right. It's passable, and I can run it. So, you know, I don't really want to go back and redo the whole damn route for the sake of HD terrain. That, you know, it looks genuinely better. I don't disagree that it does look better and it is an improvement, but I don't really think I need it. What the heck's going on here? Oh, it's doing something based on the turf effects or some such. That's interesting. I've never seen that before. That must be new. Oh, look at that. Huh. Oh, that must just be this texture. Oh, I probably didn't have a certain setting turned on for these textures before. Nice. Which, I will be honest, that looks good. But I've never seen that before. But this is not great. I don't understand why this is affecting the terrain so directly. Is this a PBR texture and it's trying to do its thing, or what? Because that wasn't happening before. Oh, now it has happened all along the right of way here. That's interesting. How do I fix this? Okay. It's a PBR texture thing. Shoot, I am not happy with that. I hope that didn't screw up too much else. Yeah, that's not good. I don't like that. These tracks should ostensibly be at the same height. Oh boy. See, now I'm torn, because I want to fix it, but it wasn't like this before. On the one hand, I do want people that look at this route in higher settings to not see this disaster. But on the other hand, I don't know what, I don't know, I don't want to do all this work. Try turning whatever setting that is back down and see if it goes away. I don't know what setting that is. Hold on, settings. Post-processing, all this stuff. Let me go into my settings window then. Trainz settings. Performance. Texture detail, water quality. Detail scenery. Collateral and turf effects. I don't know what setting that could be. I mean, I don't think it's post-processing. I had my settings all dialed in until I updated, and I don't know what they were. Same renderer. Vertical sync. Performance. Let me just reboot. I set post-processing to low, which is the only thing I could think of. And I guess I'll just reboot. See what happens. Not gonna lie, I'm a little annoyed. Alright, let's reboot Trainz. I hope this is fixable easily. Even if it's just a setting. I wouldn't love it if it's just a setting. Whoa, those are new. Can't wait until World of Warships adds that Canadian 0660. Well, might not be added to World of Warships anytime soon, but we're getting it as a trading card. Let's see. Post-processing is on low. Alright, apparently pure white void. Nope. Still the same. We have this. I just don't get... Because this is like... It's higher than it should be, you know? That's not right. Oops. No, that's not, it's not that, it seems like. Maybe regrade using whatever tool. Yeah, but I don't want to have to go through the whole map and regrade everything. Plus, I wasn't grading the outside edges, I was only grading the inner tracks. The reason for that was, if I do it along the outside, it makes the embankment too large. Like if I do that. Yeah, no, that fixes it, quote unquote, but it's not good. It's part of what HD Terrain aimed to fix. They created a problem only to solve it sort of years later. But yeah, but this wasn't a problem until now. My route did not look like this until I updated. And also, this sort of tessellation is a little bit beyond what you would expect. And again, beyond what it was. Certainly nothing has changed since the last time I logged into this route, aside from maybe my settings, and I don't know what settings would possibly make this difference. This isn't the texture coming up and doing a strange thing. This isn't the ground coming up and doing a strange thing. This is something else. It's not moving with the typical sort of landscape. See, look, I do that. That doesn't make any sense. That's not how the wireframe works. The wireframe is firmly below this. It's broken. Try turning the texture quality down. Okay. Let's turn off the turf effects then and just do clutter. I didn't make any changes. Because I thought turf effects is also the grass, or is that the clutter? Because I do use the grass. I've used the grass. Hello, KS1. That might have been what it was. I'm hoping that's what it was. I sort of assumed the grass was lumped into turf effects, but I couldn't do just clutter. I'll be honest, I didn't really know what clutter was. Please be fixed. No. Ah, man. Well, KS1, you're not hopping into a very good one. Clutter only. Texture detail normal. Turf effects is at 3D windy grass. I don't know what setting turns PBR textures on and off, but it's that one that needs to go off. Man. Okay, well that's the problem. We'll replace the texture, but it's worked fine. Settings. Side of that, it'd say it's the tracks. No, I think TJ has it right. But turf effects, physics simulation, texture detail. Let's just set texture detail to low then. I don't know what difference that might have made. Oh, whoops. So I didn't reboot it properly. It should be able to close out on its own. Although sometimes it reopens on its own. That's sort of what I was expecting to happen. Oh, come on. You gotta reboot. Yeah, no, I'm rebooting. I'm closing out all the way to the launcher. Oops. Oh, shoot. I went into the session, not the route. Or the session instead of the session editor. Now we're going to have to load into here. I'm just going to look at the Trainz settings again. The settings are as follows: shadow quality, shader quality, texture detail, post-processing, water quality, detail scenery, which is what I just tried, anti-aliasing, which I somehow don't feel like is it. Physics simulation and process objects behind camera. Get me out of here. I turned on process objects behind camera for a reason. I know that's a pretty intensive thing, but my computer is stronger than my hard drive. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only schmuck on Earth left using a regular hard drive instead of a solid state for everything. When it talks about how fast their drive is and everything. Nope, looks the same. Should I call it? Well, it's not the texture detail. It's not the post-processing. It's not the water quality, probably. I don't really know what to do in this case. Our PBR texture is still working. Oh yeah, where's my PBR texture? This right here. Yes. So that's not the setting for it. I don't think it's detailed scenery. What about just turning this down? It doesn't actually say I need to reboot after that. It's kind of interesting. Sounds and looks similar to a mod conflict. Yeah, I wish it was that simple. Interface settings. General Trainz settings. Generate complex screenshot tags. All screenshots to my feed. Also, the lowest draw distance is 3,000 now. I used to get it down to 2,500. Thank goodness I have a better computer. Update's cool and all, my computer can handle it. I don't know, right now I'm not feeling this update is very cool. The unfortunate thing is, even if I were to replace this with a PBR texture, it wouldn't help. Or, you know, I guess whichever one is the problem one. So probably this one. If I were to replace it with a PBR texture, it wouldn't help because it's a spun texture. I'd have to go back and redo everything. So I can't just do like a one-to-one replacement, you know? Admittedly, neither of these look like PBR textures, but I'm not going to pretend I can tell the difference aside from the ones that are really obvious. This one's really obvious, obviously. And it looks pretty nice, I'll give it that. And I'll notice it's blending with this one fairly well. So let's just try something off to the side. We know what is. It's this one. And then this. Yeah, so it's doing a PBR thing. These both seem to be PBR textures of some description. And then if we grab the thing that we're using for the gravel on the entirety of the Gilson Eastern, aside from branch lines, I mean, it's some indication that this might be broken. No, it's still doing it fine. That's interesting, though. Yeah, see how one is floating above the other. Yeah, no, I do see that. But it doesn't look like this conflict. I think it's this, the gravel is sort of floating above the plants. Yeah, this is sort of floating above that. If I were to take this and do this, yeah, so it's these two textures together that makes the problem, which is upsetting because this is retexturing sections. That would take me weeks. Hate to feel like an old fart, but I don't know why the thing that I've always done can't just keep working. Try doing a bulk replace. I can't bulk replace because these are spun textures. So I still have to go through and manually, you know, respin them. No, Orion, I don't think someone decided they wanted to break something. I would need to find a replacement for this patchy grass. They should, but they don't. Gone through this one before. Well, we need to find something equivalent then and see if that can work. We'll try it over a single tile and we'll see how it goes. Although I need to find a PBR thing, don't I, so that it works. Now, it won't be a rage quit, it'll just be a disappointment quit. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. It's called Caillou. And that looks a little modern. A little too perfect, if you ask me. This is old. Wow. Okay. Asphalt, I don't think is going to do it right. If you go into S2, search the top, the search bar at the top actually works. Put in PBR and it'll show the textures. What do you mean it actually works? This works. Oops. Apparently that's PBR. Let's see. This is seasonal, apparently. Oops. And now it's gone because I keep hitting thing. Okay, that's not too far off. I like the little green in this, but this isn't too bad. Can I drop the scale way down? Alright, let's try that then. Although I don't like the way that it tiles. So let's see. Let's hope it keeps the rotation. It's the scale, that's what does it? Hold on. So you're saying if I grab this, the fact that it's on the lowest scale, the fact that this is on half scale, that's still a lot of repainting. And it doesn't seem to quite work. dropped it down a little bit, but not enough. Because the old terrain model is broken. Well, are they going to fix it? Well, let's try this anyway. Stuff in like this. Oh, right. I can't grab it because I have the search bar. No, let's just do in current section. Alright, that didn't help at all. Also, it looks like garbage. Alright, but if I replace this one, oh, replace ground, yeah, that's a handy button, I like that. Let's see. Okay, so that's it. It's not this texture, it's this one, which, in fairness, is a pretty generic dirt texture, but I've used it all over the place. So, do the track have to be PBR as well? I don't think so. It's not a track-specific issue, I feel like. If I replace this with any other track, it would be fine. PBR. Let's find a PBR dirt that is acceptable. PBR Soil 1, truly seasonal. It's truly seasonal, guys. Soil 2 is truly seasonal. Okay, let's turn the scale up on that, because that looks real bad. I wish it was a little bit darker. You know, I've certainly come to become accustomed to certain things. Looks like the PBR mud is too dark. That's too bright. Sometimes the stuff in the thumbnail, it really does not look quite the same. Maybe it's better in Surveyor 2. Dry mud. It's still a little too bright. That's a little too orange. Rubble. That's a little too dark. Okay. Apparently the grid is PBR. That's cool to see. Maybe I can try this. What is this? Ground Dirt Soil AO7. Okay, let's try that. Asset to up. Oh, sorry. Oz Forest Floor Darker. I think this one is giving me problems too, so I wouldn't really be upset with getting rid of it if it works. Move that over there. Oh, Sugar Shack. There. Let's do it in current section only, and let's just see how it looks under this grass. Begin. You know, I don't hate it. It looks a little gaudy. I'm gonna be honest. It doesn't look nearly as good on these stretches. And it's not what I would call better. Completely. It is a little bit better. It is not completely better. I suppose it does work. Honestly, it looks a mess. It looks atrocious. I don't like that at all. Man. Yeah, that lowers it very slightly. If anything, I would have to raise these outside tracks by just a hair. Or just raise the tracks in general to be above the messed up texture. I really don't know what I had off. before that was disabling the PBR part of the PBR textures. But it sure looked better. I'm going to in vain look at the settings again. Show needed rail settings library. CS car system. What the heck is that? Cam sway amount. Obviously, that's not it. And it's not this stuff either. I don't know what it was that was different. I have turf effects on, but I turned that off and it didn't make a difference. It is shader. Shader quality. Oh, okay. Okay. Shader quality basic. I guess I just glossed over that one. I know you mentioned it before. I didn't even see it in the list, even though I read it out loud multiple times. Alright, I don't want to save any changes. So I'm going to back out and go all the way back in. I know at some point I'll have to bite the bullet and update all that stuff, but maybe we can just get PBR versions of the texture I'm already using. And even then, it didn't fix it totally to use all PBR textures, which is really interesting and also really frustrating. Alright, let's back all the way out. Back all the way out. And then load it back up again. Start Trainz. Still close to the road soon. I don't know. I don't trust that. Also, what the heck was that? What was that? What is this? KCS2 MPS session. Okay. Sorry, I have my own MPS session to not work on. Let's see. Shader is on the lowest it can go. Can't even see the screen. Hey, look! Shader quality on basic and things are back to normal. Okay. That's the thing that broke yesterday or this morning. Yeah, and there goes the beautiful PBR textures. I don't know how on earth they would ever fix that. I wonder why nobody's ever mentioned that to me, though, because I've been using this texture combination for a very long time, and I know other folks with better computers have been, you know, on this. Or perhaps not. Well, that is the way it is, anyway. Let's just get back to work, and someday we might find a replacement for that dirt texture. They did fix it, HD terrain, lol. I don't really consider that a fix, and you know what I'm talking about. That's not fixing, that's making another system. There's a whole blurb about that sort of thing in the press release. Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's still not fixed. Making it so that you can only really use making it so that you can only use PBR textures with the one kind of terrain system doesn't really fix anything, does it? Especially because if you move over, it's not a fix at all. It just doesn't do anything unless you use PBR textures. So, I don't really consider that fixed. They might consider it fixed. We might never get any further progress on it, but it's not fixed. Say, working as intended. Oh, I must have clicked on this. Shoot, I made the embankment extra wide over here by accident. Oh, maybe I can... Let's see, what can I do with that? Should probably fix that with a terrain track. If I had all PBR textures, I'm sure I'd be chomping at the bit to move to HD terrain, and you know it would work just fine. But I don't. This route has been around a time or two. It's not the latest and greatest, and maybe that's my own damn fault. But Trainz has always been quite good at backwards compatibility. I can't say I haven't been a pretty ardent supporter of, you know, whatever. Ignoring the TS12 rant, of course. So the DLS can be used for the next counter industry. What's that? Give me something better to put my mind on. It's funny how turning up the quality makes things worse. At least I can undo it. When I do want to look at things in the better quality, I can just undo it and go back to the way things were. Although I don't like the fact that folks, when they look at this, it's a derelict boxcar. I've actually used that elsewhere. I have a little train wreck spot. I have a few derelict boxcars, as a matter of fact. I think there's one up on blocks somewhere, and there's one, there's one in the woods. No, it's not a Penn Central one. There's one that has no writing on it at all. And then there's one, I think there's some, like a boxcar with no wheels in here somewhere. I thought I left something like that. No, maybe I didn't. Yeah, Pan Am is a little... Pan Am is okay. It's a little bit more of a performance drain than I'm used to it being. There we go. That's going to be on the brain now. I don't think I'm going to sleep very well until I figure out how to square this thing out. I've never realized that it was my settings that were keeping the map looking good for me without all those issues. So, we're going to have to figure that out. Maybe we'll get as far as, well, we've still got a lot of work in Bellington. Maybe when we finish this segment, we'll go back and start spiffing things up. But I really don't want to get caught in a eternal loop of polishing the same section of railroad over and over again. I know the way that it looked when the settings were turned up, you know, for the last 40 minutes or so. It was frankly unacceptable. Repurpose railroad equipment like old hoppers that are part of a grain silo. That's neat. That's a neat idea. Yeah. That was definitely unacceptable. And even with the PBR textures, it doesn't really make it better all the way. I don't want to have to start doing these sections as as you know, the HD terrain, because then I have to go and get the PBR textures and figure that all out for everything. And there are only, I mean, there are a lot of good ones, but there are still only so many. I'm used to so many different ones. It wouldn't be insurmountable, but it would take me a long time to get used to it. I guess maybe I'll just have to in the end. I don't really see myself doing much of a Trainz project after this, if this ever comes to an end. Tolbrand is me giving my all to this game. That's interesting. How does that look along this? What angle was that? Oh, it was on this side and this side only. Yeah, it's a little less noticeable when you're looking at the area with the grass. Hmm. It's not even really a new problem that's bugging me so much, it's just seeing an old problem. Isn't that upsetting? Seeing an old problem that I never saw before. Let's see what it looks like. Have some random person do it on the DLS, like all those North Bay country fixes. No, I'd rather not. If this thing's going out the door with my name on it, it's going to be all my work, and it's got to be right. PBR North Bay County. Well, maybe I should look at that, see what I can get. Interesting that it didn't say it couldn't do that. Very interesting. That's really freaky. Well, the grass is floating and the ground changes the more I get close to it. I get the feeling that isn't supposed to happen. Although it didn't tell me it couldn't do it for want of PBR textures, which is interesting. Also, how much brighter it is on the map. That's funny. It's only really that way on one side, although it is definitely that way on both sides. It just looks worse on one. It's just been Kavan and I's hunch. Maybe that's not what causes errors. Whoa. That took a while. This is really freaky. That's really unsettling, as a matter of fact. I don't like seeing that. I don't like watching the ground move as I walk around it. I don't need to live on a waterbed. Alright, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. I don't know if that's a PBR thing or what, but it's freaking me out. Alright, the ground is staying put. Oh, shoot. What the heck? Alright, well, you know what? We've broken it. Let's just, not safe. I think I just saved. I better have just saved. Oh, we have a script failure. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, okay. So that's done. I don't really know what the recompense is here. I wonder if it would look better if I set it back to high and then did what I just did. I wonder if the conversion performs differently with different versions of the, with different versions of the setting. I don't know. Well, I can't exactly say that I'm disappointed with this update. I'm disappointed to learn that my route has been much worse than I thought it was. But I guess we should keep working. Otherwise, it's just been a... Otherwise, all the time up to here has been... I don't know. Wish I had known from the beginning that it looked like that. Although, I would suppose it didn't look like that back in Tane when I started. I don't know. I'm gonna have to make a hard decision at some point. Gonna have to figure out when to look back and start fixing. It can't be left like this. Not in 2022. Not in Trainz Plus. When I guarantee the vast majority of the people that are paying that $70 a year are gonna run this on settings that are more than the bare minimum. I was always wondering what I was missing with PBR textures, apparently, because I was just worried about shaders. So much of a hog as they are. I see what's nice about PBR textures now, anyway. I had never seen them like that before. It's probably easy to understand now why I didn't really care for them. For or against them. Hi, baby.
My birthday presents came in.
Oh, good.
Gianna showed them to me. The bumper sticker is bigger than she expected, and so was the makeup bag.
Well, better than being smaller.
Yeah. They're really cool too. I told Gianna that as soon as I get it, it's gonna go right on the car.
Good.
That's where my sticker bomb is somehow.
Mm-hmm. I know it's too quiet in here. I just don't really know what to think. Maybe I'm taking it too hard, but I have a lot of time invested in this railroad. Oh, man. It's upsetting, you know? It's upsetting to know that, that to put this thing on full blast doesn't make the railroad look better. You know, I'd always thought that it looked alright from my point of view, and then the folks that ended up looking at it with their better computers and shaders and shadows and all that jazz, that they were seeing something that was far and away more, you know, more beautiful than what I was looking at. But that's not it, you know. There are things that I had no idea about. And I'm not going to go back to the beginning. I'll have to at some point. But I really don't want to right now. I'm making such... I feel like we've made such good progress. And, you know, the AI is sort of an afterthought in all this. Because the AI is, you know, sort of contingent on me doing this. A while ago, in order to get my AI fix, when I thought that AI was going to be broken for a long, long time, I started the modular railroad and had people bring modules in, and I was stitching them together and trying to make them work. But that is a really different animal than this. This is sort of trying to make a world, as opposed to just making a railroad that runs properly. And in fact, because Trainz AI doesn't really handle conditionals, at least not as far as I've ever understood it, it's not possible to make a dynamic AI set in a route that is ever expanding. It just doesn't work. What's going to go here? Maybe one day the game will work properly regardless of HD terrain or not. Yeah, right. You yourself pointed out the fact that they consider it fixed. Hey, Mew. I will use... This one. This one. Yeah. You know, Trains Across America modular route. Yeah, they fixed that problem, added a few more. Again, I don't think they fixed that problem. They think they fixed that problem. As far as I'm concerned, the problem is still very much there, and they just found... They've made a new game. They've made a new game that doesn't have that problem. It has different problems. And to get from where I am to where they are, I won't call it insurmountable, but it's going to be a hell of a lot of effort. And that's the thing with Tolbrand. And it's funny because I can relate it to tourist railroads in a way, because it seems like that's the way things go for tourist railroads. You're either working on yourself, you're either working on what you've got already, or you're putting all that time and effort into getting bigger. And I've been putting all my time and effort into getting bigger. I haven't really looked back, AI aside. I haven't really looked back and and figured out that, or and tweaked and fixed and whatever. There are assets and textures that I've sort of left behind, but they still exist in this route. They're still there. There are techniques that I don't necessarily use anymore. They're still in this route. The products of them are still in this route. And I might never revisit those techniques, but they're going to stay there. What I've made with them is going to stay there. Not so with these changes, or not so with these errors. Once we hit 0.4, I will have to go back and get this thing ready for whatever the next version of Trainz is. One more problem, so we're willing to pay more. I don't think that's how that works. If paying more provided a solution, perhaps, but that's not what they've peddled so far. Pay to fix. Yeah, no, that's Paradox Games. Let's be real here. If anything, Trainz Plus has given me a window into more brokenness and not more fixedness. Someday they might fix the industries in MPS. That would be very nice. But that's not, that isn't contingent on any kind of money. Not as far as I can tell. If I could pay an extra $15 and have the industries in MPS works, MPS work, then, you know what, I would. But, it goes on a normal release that you pay for. Let's be real here, it's pay to upgrade, but what isn't? The nice few games where you update for free, those are the exceptions and not the rule. The Minecrafts and Terrarias of the world and the Derail Valleys of the world, not the rest of the games where, well, those things will be included in the next release or the next DLC, I don't need money spent on someone else's outdated fiber optic dial-up, eh? I'd love to see some fiber optic dial-up. Sure felt like I had fiber optic dial-up when I was trying to download this update. But I'll be frank, I have no idea what you mean. Let's see. Point is, we're just building a railroad. We'll get it to that good enough when the time comes. It sounded good in my head. Once we've built an entire city that's larger than Olive. I don't understand why the sinking of the terrain is correlated to the scale. That seems like a weird thing. I wonder if that's even on purpose. I bet people have already used it to their advantage. Bet they have. Right, let's clear that up. Okay. I'm going to try to get this stuff straightened out a little bit. After all this copy-paste, it still leaves me with a lot of work to do. That's one of the reasons I'm sort of hesitant to use it as far as we have. Oh, we're just edging towards the river. It's over there somewhere. It's actually, we're pretty close, all things considered. So the way the game works, the parallax or something like the scale moves that up and down based on how high-low the PBR thing protrudes. So I guess the implication is If the scale is high, the thing is larger and thus needs more parallax. I mean, yeah, I suppose that would make sense from like a technical visual point of view. It's how your eyes and physics and stuff work. Alright. This is not lined up either. Look at that. Look how screwed up this is. I really thought it was going to be a little bit better than this, and here we are, having done some copy-paste, and getting an output that needs almost as much work as it would for me to just do it from scratch. Well, let's do this anyway. Maybe I should try it in Surveyor 2.0 and be able to just slide it around a little bit after I place it down. Not having the buttons for it in 2.0 always trips me up. And moving the thing around after you've placed it it's a little rough sometimes. It's far from perfect. Again, I'd be a much larger fan of MPS if I could get the AI to work. Or, well, the industries to work. On the bright side, we have a new Mikado, or a better Mikado, so we don't need that reskin right away. Thanks to last episode, we found that. So, one down and one up. But I know there wasn't an episode last week. Actually, I was at the drive-in seeing Barbie. Gotta love the drive-in. Actually, I hadn't been to the drive-in over here in quite some time before that. It was an experience that I really enjoyed, no small part because well, movie tickets are expensive. Movie tickets like $13 for a regular price ticket, and to get the whole car in the drive-in theater was $30, which is less than the price of 3 movie tickets. The movie was pretty good. I definitely can't complain. I would probably watch it again. It's a movie that sort of has things to say, but, isn't too hard about it and is just there to be a really kind of wacky movie about Barbie. You can read into it a lot if you want, but it's not an Asteroid City where it's incomprehensible without picking it apart for its themes. I think the themes are very valuable, but I think people are reading into it a lot more than it needs to be read into. The double feature was, shoot, what was it? Oh, it was Little Mermaid. It was the new Little Mermaid, which we stayed for like the first couple songs, but it was getting really late, so. Also was not as bad as, I was led to believe it would end up being. But I've never really been a Little Mermaid fan in the first place, so I don't really have much say. But I definitely don't have anything bad to say about Barbie. Maybe the third act was a little bit rushed and clunky, and the way they resolve things at the end to sort of make everyone happy, it's easy to miss. I've seen a lot of people sort of... I'd see you, Ryan. I've seen a lot of people sort of miss, not the point, but the way they wrap it up, and they seem to treat it more poorly than I think it deserves to be treated. I don't necessarily need to get in the weeds about it. I don't want to sit here defending the Barbie movie too much. Not like it doesn't deserve it, but I don't really feel like it's my place. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's not a masterful film of our time or anything. It's a Barbie movie. It's pretty entertaining. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to care about. I mean, the bones of the plot is sort of, there's Barbie Land where all the Barbies live, and those Barbies are being played with by, people in the outside world. And, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, we're talking about the Barbie movie. Matt asked me what the general plot was, and one of the Barbies starts to sort of lose her mind and like have an existential crisis, and realizes that the kid that's playing with her must be having negative thoughts, so she needs to go out into the real world and like find the kid and make them happy. It turns out that, spoilers for the Barbie movie, by the way, It turns out that it's actually the kid's mom that's been playing with the Barbie and has been having like these grown-up existential thoughts, you know, like existential crisis and stuff like that. Um, and then there's a whole thing about like the plot is driven by a couple of things. There's more than one thing going on at once, which I appreciate the movie for. It's not a totally linear plot. Um, but like the Mattel executives, which are really like a comedic bunch led by Will Ferrell, um, are trying to like find Barbie and get her back into Barbie Land, like take her back to Barbie Land because she's not supposed to be out in the real world. And then uh, there's a whole like not a B story, but also happening is Ken visits the real world with Barbie, and Kens, of course, are secondary to Barbies because that's how the dolls work. You know, you don't really, you get Ken as an accessory to Barbie. And so Ken has like an existential crisis also when he realizes that, he's basically an accessory. And so they stage a revolution in Barbie Land, um, turn it into Ken Land, and they go to like change the Constitution and everything to give Kens all the power, and they like basically hypnotize all the Barbies, and then they resolve that by snapping all the Barbies out of it with like, some like mild,
Sing a song.
yeah, some mild feminist stuff, which again is I feel like what people get hung up on, but it's not as bad as the word feminist would make you think it is. And also I feel like people drive the men versus women aspect of the movie too much. It's sort of about, I don't know, maybe more about subservience and not, and knowing your place in the world and controlling your own destiny. Uh, it can all be held as very allegorical. Probably not necessarily, or not necessary to enjoy it. I wouldn't say it's necessary to enjoy it, but uh, no, I definitely would. I definitely would recommend seeing it, and seeing it with you know, it's got a lot of satire. It's got a lot of allegory. It's very sort of fun. It's relatively witty, and it's relatively just funny on its own. Okay. Um. Yeah. No. It's. Um. I can't eat a cone right now because I don't have two hands, but I would like a cone later, maybe. Thank you. Um. But yeah, the Barbies all get hypnotized by the Kens. The Kens who, are led by Ken, who went into the real world and discovered the patriarchy and is like, oh my god, this is the way that life should be, and that's why he goes back and like stages a revolution in Barbie Land. And then they wrap it up by Ken being like, yeah, actually that wasn't all it was cracked up to be. Um, 10 out of 10 movie review. We'll have to see Oppenheimer. Yep. I was disappointed that the double feature wasn't Barbie and Oppenheimer. I feel like the drive-in really missed an opportunity there. But yeah, again, the thing I think, and I am gonna say this, I guess, the thing I think a lot of the critics or more critical people on it seem to miss is at the end, the Kens are like, can we have a place in Barbie society? Like, can we be more independent? Because, Kens have been totally subservient, blah, blah, blah. And there's, there's a sort of blink and you miss it moment where they ask to be on the Supreme Court of Barbie Land, and the president of Barbie Land says no. But, you can have like a lower court justice, which apparently is allegorical to the real world in that the first female, like, federal justice was this lower court justice. Apparently it's a whole thing. And then the narrator is like, maybe someday Kens will have as much power in Barbie's world as women do in the real world. And it's, it's a cool thing. I don't think the message deserves to be dissed. I think if you don't like it, you don't have to like it. And, but it's not like the anti-man movie that people seem to be people seem to be upset about sometimes.
Oh, tell me about Weird Barbie.
Audrey wants me to tell you about Weird Barbie, who is like
The funniest guy.
the apparently the funniest. I mean, she is pretty funny. But like a Barbie that gets played with too hard gets turned into a weird Barbie with like marker all over and like the haircut and only can do splits because they're all bent out of shape and so in going to visit the real world, uh, Barbie has to meet with weird Barbie. Um, it's it's a ride. You know what? It's just a ride. The whole movie is so wacky. It is worth seeing because it's such a well put together thing, even if you don't really care about whatever the underlying message might be. Uh, that allegory seems to hit the nail on the head a bit too hard, but that's coming from the person who didn't see it. Um, it's a thing. Um, it's it's some old school feminism stuff. It's some like real based like equality stuff, as opposed to the women bad men good that people seem to think it is, or people seem to think feminism is. What part of the ending? Oh yeah, and then Barbie goes to live in the real world because she's had like too much of an awakening. Uh, but no, people have gotten upset about the Ken thing because they see like, oh well, Ken wasn't allowed to be on the Supreme Court of Barbie Land, therefore nothing has changed. Therefore the movie is just about, you know, women bad, men good, when that's really not it at all, because the whole thing is more about just like oppressed class versus not, in a sense, and in a more literal sense, in the context of the movie, the Kens do make a change and they do start to go somewhere, and their revolution does have a functional result. Like, Ken genuinely has the better character arc over the course of the movie of like anybody, as the best character arc of the movie. And they get there, not by violent force or revolution, but by like gradual change for equality, sort of change in Barbie Land. And you say that hits the nail on the head too hard, and somehow people missed that. Somehow people got out of that the Kens were going to be subjugated forever, and that was their deserved place according to the movie, which is not it. Also, they definitely, Mattel makes fun of themselves. They have their moments where there's, uh, there's even a moment where like Barbie gets eviscerated for being too, like stereotypically pretty and things like that, uh, by like a middle school student. I mean, like, you haven't empowered women, you've set women's rights back 50 years, and blah, blah, blah. And then the movie sort of, you know, shows Barbie being very upset from that, and then, moves on. Uh, it doesn't, it doesn't treat itself like gospel, you know? The allegories are there, but it's not a movie specifically for that. First of all, it is a movie about a wacky Barbie adventure, uh, and Barbies and Kens. Again, yeah, Ken has the whole thing about learning to be an independent individual and not live and not only be happy when Barbie is noticing him and that sort of thing. You know, I don't know. Enough of it you can take as allegory. Enough of it you can take as it's Barbies and Kens, and this is the realities of their wacky Barbie world. Again, I would watch it again, I guess, and that's not something I say about a lot of movies. I've said it more about movies lately, and I don't know if that's just me growing up and getting old, but I've definitely wanted to rewatch things now more than I have in the past in my life. Uh, and part of it has been showing Gloria things, and that's why we have the real list, although we haven't made that in a little while. It'll come back one of these days. Um, And I just have been watching these movies that sort of grab me in a way that I'm not used to. You know, the Barbie movie surprisingly is one of them. Another easy pick for me is Asteroid City. I definitely want to rewatch that again, but I feel like Wes Anderson movies, in the same way that Edgar Wright movies you have to watch in order to see everything that's going on, Wes Anderson movies you have to watch in order to see everything that's going on. Asteroid City more than most, because it's just so what am I watching? Um, but yeah, let's fill this out. Oh, and you asked about the Mikado that we picked out. It's an old Ben Neal Mikado, so it's got the older engine spec. It's really not anything exciting, but it's there. But yeah, there are too many people taking the Barbie movie too seriously. It's not a gospel sermon or anything. It's a movie about Barbies. There we go. I just get as much of this done as possible. I'm just gonna try to, you know, I'm just gonna try to not think about the issues that we saw at the beginning of this video for the rest of the time of us working on this, and then I will, do that. I need to use my coping strategies. I need to like not think about it before I try to go to sleep, and then it won't bug me, and I won't spend the rest of my days trying to figure out how to fix it or redoing the whole damn route. Okay. This is how close that we are to this. And I've been wanting to do the terrain for this, which I'm going to do with the plateau tool a bit. Also, the level crossing of 4 tracks in the middle of nowhere. That is a big vibe. Grindman plays virtual choo-choos while doing a deep dive into the meaning of the Barbie movie is a mood. It's good that it's a movie that allows this much discussion on it. You know, I totally agree with you that I didn't think it would be anything nearly as... I mean, deep isn't the right word, but it works. You know, it's got a lot more going on than I expected out of a movie called The Barbie Movie. Or just, I mean, it's just called Barbie. If Mattel does end up making more films based off their toy lines, it would be a meme if they kept hiring Will Ferrell to be the token antagonist. He did a really good job. The entire Mattel board is really, really funny. And, like, I don't usually care for that style of comedy. I'm not a big Will Ferrell fan in general. But, like, he was really funny. Matchbox Cars the movie, I think we already have that. Ka-chow. But, sure, why not? Yeah. I mean, it's not worth watching just for Will Ferrell. I probably will look up something on YouTube that's like best of Will Ferrell in the Barbie movie. But that's the other thing where he has this sort of token part, and I can't for the life of me remember what his name was. He's just the CEO of Barbie. Cars live action remake. I think that's just called Ford versus Ferrari. It's not, but whatever. We'll roll with that. I mean, I would probably watch a Max. Listen, if they can do a Barbie movie that well, if they can do a Lego movie that well, if they can do a Battleship. Well, okay, never mind. I would still watch a Matchbox Cars movie. How about a Game of Life, the movie? Like the worst board game ever. I know. A lot of people are saying, a lot of people just instantly went, oh, because, oh, clutch my pearls. I used to love the Game of Life as a kid. And then you look back at it and go, what did I do? You make like 5 decisions in that entire game. The rest of it is sheer luck based on dice rolls. Or not dice rolls, you spin the thing. But still, it's not a game. It's just like, it's a virtual novel but on a board. We are all currently living in that movie. I don't know, I was promised life tokens and stuff. I should have been like skydiving by now or something. I don't remember getting the like 3 options for my house. I think I just got 1. So really, if we're playing life, I feel like I'm being cheated. Um, but no, in seriousness, I don't understand the love for the game of life. It's so simple. And I'm not like a board game gatekeeper. I get it if you enjoy it. It's an experience. It's fun to do, but it has more in common with watching a television show or reading a book than it does with playing a board game. Uh, it's like bingo. And that's another controversial statement. I think bingo sucks. I mean, I have enjoyed it in the past. It can be kind of fun to like win prizes or whatever, but let's treat it like what it is. It's just like gambling. It's there's no input on your end. Maybe if you got to like pick the card you got, there would be an incredibly minuscule amount of input. But every card is as likely to win as every other, and you don't do anything. You sit there and watch the balls come out of the machine. The board game life is a TV show, yeah. Uh, the the issue is nowadays the game of life you get to choose between terrible apartment 1 and terrible apartment 2. That house your family owns and has issues, and buy another Volvo. I need the thing for pushing 2 buttons at once, because buying the wagon and buying this house were very close together. Spelling not my strong suit. I thought you did that on purpose. You shouldn't have said anything, because I thought you did bored on purpose. I wish someone would make a game of life, but it was like actually interactive and stuff. Although I suppose you could just, go out and live your life. You could play Second Life online or whatever. Oh, Tyler, we did way too much Tetris today. You say, no Tyler joins in 30 minutes before the end. No Tetris. Do you think I played Tetris for 2.5 hours? I didn't, because I don't play Tetris. I play not Tetris. We can go and play more Tetris, though. No, I'm not going to do that. I owe Tyler this. Tucson. Alright. You're almost back to the beginning here. You might just to destroy me. No, I do that enough with the Royales. You have enough on your plate. You gotta add the big boy to that game you're doing. So, I know, get cracking on that. I will not rest, I can die. Oops, all Tetris! I will not rest until I can die in a boiler explosion, but oops, all Tetris stream. That would be really funny. For like a Sunday driving. Oops, all Tetris. Oh man, that's the best idea. That's the best idea so far this stream, except for the one where TJ told me how to fix my route. Sounds like one of those sessions. Ain't no Tetris. Do you have the fish of my cousin Raul? I play Tetris every time I put my model trains away. Respect. I play Tetris every time I go on a road trip with my mom and her Fiat 500, which I don't think she will have for much longer because she's getting fed up with it breaking. Fix it again, Tony. My mom was trying to convince me to go half with her on a 1959 Volvo PV544, which is a beautiful car, and I probably would have done it except she wanted to keep it at my house. And I don't have room in my driveway for that. I already have 3 Volvos. I don't need a 4th right now. I'll need one later in the future. Ain't no Tetris. Speaking of Mexico, I hope I rebadge the Fiat with a Volvo sticker. Yeah, there we go. The good old Uno reverse card. The right now should concern you. I want a Volvo Amazon. I want a P1800, but ideally one that's been like turned into an electric car because that would be super cool. I know electric car bad, but like it's better than gas car anyway. Give me hydrogen car. Make it like the Warthog. That's one of my favorite pieces of Halo trivia is that the Warthog is a hydrogen-powered car. Because, I mean, that's just cool. That's why it always revs so high. Everything in the Halo universe is hydrogen-powered, I'm pretty sure. Especially the spaceships. Electric car with a pantograph. Yeah, don't worry. They'll still get mad at me for driving the bus lane, but at least I'll have a reason to be there. When it's trolley buses. Ellis, maybe you'll have a car that does more than 50 up hills. I can do more than 50 up very slight hills if I'm the only one in the car. West Virginia hills are mountains, okay? And I don't jive with that. I'm a Rhode Islander. We are not as flat as certain other states, but we're pretty darn flat. Why not a Volvo hybrid? Why would I need a Volvo hybrid? I had to remind myself not to pass you a couple times. Yeah, but you're a maniac, Matt. Is the thing. Is the issue. You I mean, I appreciate you having, like, you not passing me. But when we were going uphill in your Jeep, I feared for my life. So, you know, I'm okay. Wait until you, I mean, the most of us driving together was on the way there. That's the most memorable part of it for me. And I knew where we were going, and I don't think you knew where we were going. So if you had passed me, I would have just found you later. Another satisfied customer. Yeah, I knew that was coming. But, you know, when you step on the gas and it goes down 2 gears, I don't like that. I mean, I don't like it when I don't like when cars downshift in general. I try to keep mine from doing that, which is why I go slow up hills. I know it's a perfectly normal thing to do. But, excuse me, I do much more downshifting going downhill than I do going uphill. Alright. Basic instructions in my center console written on the back of an envelope. Oh boy. I feel like I still would have found you later. I used to do that. I had the whole instructions to Steamtown written out for one of my earlier road trips. But, you know, it happens. Drive to Cass is my most memorable. Yumi, Gloria, and Simon, and Milky. Oh wait, the drive to Cass when we were... Oh, the first drive to Cass. Yes. Yeah, no, that was... Where we established the harassing each other over the radio, and by harassing each other, I mean harassing Dean. Yeah, no, that was a good time. That was a good time. That was fun. I liked that. I still say Morgan to Morgan stuff to Gloria every once in a while. I said it earlier today. Earlier today, we were making burgers, right? Or I had just come back from the store with some ground beef and a tomato for Gloria's burger. Um, and I'm just getting sort of like unpacked, untying the dog and everything because I walked down with Audrey, and I hand Gloria the thing of ground beef, and I go, Morgan to Morgan, what do you call a cow with no legs? And Gloria rolls their eyes at me and goes, ground beef, and then goes to the other room. Laughing so hard, I had to really try to keep my eyes open. Simon with a CB radio is a monster. I love it. Okay. There we go. Let's. If we can get this like little bit done, so we just slow down in these backgrounds, I'll start telling her another satisfied customer. Oh no. I made my mom cry once. That's not something to brag about, but we were at a T intersection where we need that. No, we need a party bus. We need a school bus, just like kitted out, is what we need. Um, and the person that drives it needs to wear a Joker mask. No. Um, I was driving. Yeah, I was at a. We stopped for gas at a gas station opposite a T intersection. So like, opposite the lower leg of the T, if you know what I mean. And it was a signalized intersection, so you had the reds and the greens as things coming on, and there was no traffic light on the side of there was no traffic light on the side of the gas station. So you sort of just had to pull out into this intersection that already had green lit traffic. So I kind of realized that that was going to be dangerous. And I just pulled up in such a way that I could see one of the signal heads. Obviously, like I said, there was no one pointing at me, but I pulled up so I could see one of them. And what the heck? I thought I just heard Lafayette. And the moment that it turned red and I knew the intersection was all red, I just sort of gunned it across the intersection. I didn't think there was going to be a safe opportunity for me to go otherwise. And my mother cried. Because she didn't know what the heck I was doing or why I had just punched it across an intersection where there were ostensibly cars that looked like they were about to come in our way. I think she thought she was going to die. Now my mom doesn't drive with me very much. Wonder why. The banter bus. Yeah, no, that's a thing. No, like a full-on school bus. There was one for sale in West Virginia, if I remember right. It was just a school bus parked in someone's yard that was for sale. Because I hit a puddle which was a lot deeper than I thought and had a bucket floating in it. She didn't cry, but probably thought death was near. Yeah, big puddles are big problems. I effed up my distributor cap by getting water splashed all up my engine bay. And I'm still not jazzed about large puddles as a result. Because, I mean, that really screwed things up. I needed to get some work done after that. And part of it is the fact that I don't have the, like, underside splash guard that the 940 is supposed to have. It got removed many years ago because it was just sort of falling off. But it's one of these things where I probably need to go on, various auto parts websites and find a new one. It's just been sort of lower in my priority list than it could be. Large puddle. Oh, I love an S10. S10 pickups are the best. If I had to buy a pickup, it would probably be an S10. And then Dean would go, "Oh, he got a Chevrolet. Oh." And then Dean would get a Volvo. The prophecy is true. You know, I bet, like 70 years from now, when Dean is on his deathbed, we're all going to be standing around, whichever horsemen are left, and he's going to look at me and be like, "I told you I'd never buy a Volvo," and then he's going to die. If you had to buy a pickup, I'd cut the back end off of Nelly. No, I wouldn't. I can't do that to her. I think there have been some if I had to buy a pickup, it would probably be an S10. Um, but if I had to buy like a Volvo turned into a pickup, I would be looking for one of the 240 ones, or I would be looking at. I think people have made P1800 pickup trucks, or just sort of chop the top off. The cat is at my legs. You guys want to see the cat? I know you guys want to see the cat. Thank me. Hi. Hi. Oh, I gotcha. I gotcha. Whee. Hey, cat. Good kitty. Kitty does not like being held. Alright, here you go. You know what's funny about picking this cat up? Is that after I do it, he doesn't run away. He just sort of sits there when I put him back down. Saw a black 240 sedan on the way home, and at a moment that I hadn't had since West Virginia. Hi, Beckman. Come here. See, now he's staying out of arm's reach. I haven't pet him in a while, or I haven't picked him up in a while, so now he's wary. Now he's like, I don't know, you just scoop me up. Oh, wait, no, here he comes. He's coming back. Hi. Oh, what a big fluff. Okay. Okay. Now we need to do this some more. Let's get the corn. He's upset because I picked him up and I'm not, like, feeding him instantly. But if I fed him now, the dog would eat all his food. Also, he's gotta have a little less food than he's having because he's getting larger. Like, there is a point where it is just fluff, but underneath that he's starting to get a little chubby. He also is now eating the dog food on top of his own food, which is fair because Lafayette eats a lot of his food, but it's a tough balance. Alright. And also now I have, like, cat hair on my hands and everything. My mama loves me, she loves me. She takes me in her arm and hugs me. Oh, she loves me like a rock. They didn't end up having the special guest at this year's Newport Folk Festival, which the Newport Folk Festival is an incredibly cool, if expensive event that, man, anyone who likes folk music should definitely go to because it's dope. Human I hunger. That cat always hungers. Fatty. Yeah, I'm talking about you. He's upset because he didn't get, like, a bunch of ground beef when we were making the burgers. He usually gets a little some. I gave him some cheese for my sandwich. Cheese is a weird exception to his I will only eat raw meat and my own food and the dog's food rule. But everyone loves cheese, so Michelin cat, yeah. He does look like that. You're totally right. The man's built like a stack of tires. This car is just... Alright, let's do that. We're just going to need to do the terrain in this section. You want to talk about cheese? I love to talk about cheese. You know why? Because I love cheese. I love cheese even though I'm lactose intolerant. My body does not love cheese, but I love cheese. I made it through college on a healthy diet of like junk food and mac and cheese. It's basically the only thing I could cook. It's still almost the only thing I can cook. Cheese fries with bacon, you talk about good eating. The Baconator fries from Wendy's. That fulfills that desire. And I actually had some of those recently. I actually have a confession, which is that I went to Burger King. Which I have not been to Burger King in a very long time. And we got given a booklet of Burger King coupons. And I went, you know what, why not? If I'll try it. I'll give them another chance. Because I basically only ever eat at Wendy's as far as fast food goes. No McDonald's, no KFC, no Burger King. You know what I'm putting on my salad right now instead of croutons? Probably bacon, I guess, given that it's relevant to the conversation. Flavor blasted goldfish? That's not what I expected at all. I don't remember what... I know I walked to Burger King and then I walked right home from Burger King. I don't remember to what tune I'm supposed to sing that. Oh, right. It's to, okay, yeah. I walked to Burger King and then I walked right home from Burger King. Oh my god. Alright, so anyway. Flavor blasted goldfish on a salad. I'm not gonna knock it until I try it, but I think I'm not gonna try it. Boulevard of Broken Memes. Alright, we actually have to... We can mark this off with a road. Speaking of road, the Milwaukee Road. I did some fiddling with Merger Mania today while I was supposed to be working. I sort of drowned myself in the 120 odd KMZ files that we use for Merger Mania to try and find stuff I could get rid of, because the game got larger, but it also got more granular, and not in a way that I think is very helpful. What I thought about this, right? I thought, if you were to make Merger Mania 2, what would it be like? And I know my answer to that question, which is you break all of the railroads, in fact, nay, all of the tracks down to single point-to-point, junction-to-junction connections. I don't know how you would, like, reasonably do this. You would have to have a whole API for it. But, like, city to city at the biggest level, or like town to town, or junction to junction at the most granular level, like so you can go halfway to a city and then just hang a left. That sort of thing. So instead of being you purchase each individual railroad, you're just buying up individual segments of railroad. Yeah, you know, Ticket to Ride does come to mind. I see somebody has been reading the FRA Long Distance doc. Yes, although I came up with this idea before I read the FRA Long Distance doc. Although, what a good doc that is. Oh my god, I just looked down at my hand and I have just like clumps of cat hair all over my hands. Um, I'm gonna need to scroll back in the somebody timestamp in the comments of this video where me picking up the cat is because I need to go back and see that. Um, what if you can also choose to add electrification to segments and skip a turn? No, everyone gets electrification to segments. All segments are automatically electrified because put up the dang wires, Mango gobbles. Alright, I'm actually going to slide this over by a couple. You say the whole premise of the game is that the railroads have been nationalized and you've been put under control of a portion of the railroads for the sake of upgrading them to electrification. And that's why you're buying up things piece by piece. But you put up super wires if the wires are already put up. See there, now we have a premise for this game, and yeah, we'll just have to dissolve all the KMZ files into some sort of gamer API, which we could break it down by what the game actually breaks it down by, or what the KMZ files are actually broken down by, because they're broken down pretty granularly. But we have no way of like putting this into any sort of UI where you'd be able to see what you're buying uh, without downloading all of the KMZ files and having them all out in front of you. Ellis can't go 2 weeks without making a new complicated game mode of an already complicated game. Well, yes. Yes. I have been working with the folks that are updating the persistent jobs mod for Derail Valley and trying to sort of guide things in one direction or another, because there are always things that I've thought about the persistent jobs mod. All right, let's do this. And this. Okay. Oh, my neck. And I've been sort of, I haven't said it outright, but the thing I've wanted to say is like, I'm asking a lot of questions about how the mod works, and like, I'm sorry, I don't have any real coding experience, but I do have some game design experience, which might be helpful. So I'm trying to make the mechanics work and make sense. But the folks that are doing it are, I'm worried they're getting a little too in the weeds on this or that. But the point is, we have a version of the mod that does work, so that's good. That's a really good starting point. And the person who's doing like the coding seems to be really cool and really helpful and like really responsive. I definitely don't have a bad thing to say about the team that he's put together, and I'm very happy to be on it and lend my playtesting and my 2 cents. Honestly, it's probably my favorite Derail Valley mod, and it makes me even happier that in the future Derail Valley will be like genuinely like that, as in genuinely like a persistent world and everything. That's one of their roadmap items. Which, if you have not looked at the Derail Valley roadmap, I would check it out, because they've got some cool stuff on there that I'm very excited about. And if we want to talk about a game that's getting a lot of updates, every time I look at Railroute, it's got another update. I can't even begin to make it into one of the levels before I have to restart, because they've changed how the game works. It's like old school modded Minecraft, where they would put out an update, you know, in like the beta and early release days, where you'd get an update like once a month or whatever, and it would totally break all the mods, and you'd have to wait for the mod creators to come through and update them all, and etc. etc. It was nuts. It was a great time to be a Minecraft player. and it's a great time to be a Railroot player. Unfortunately, I'm a very casual Railroot player, so I think I'm just going to wait for the dust to settle. And then I'm going to go and play a bunch of Railroot. Maybe after I get through, maybe after the Persistent Jobs mod is in a good spot, we'll do a playthrough of a map on Derail Valley. Or once the Persistent Jobs mod is in a good spot in Derail Valley, we will do a playthrough of a map in Railroot. No promises. But, you know, I'm just finally getting to the Derail Valley thing, so we'll see how long that takes and if I end up doing more than one playthrough, because it keeps changing the mod. But it's got to be manually compiled at this point, so I'm not good at that. KS1 asks if I'm looking forward to Railroader, and you know, if you had asked that question maybe a month ago, I would have said, eh. But since then, I've actually looked at a piece of press material for the game. I hadn't before. I hadn't looked at a single thing about the game, and I just sort of knew that it was sort of like Railroads Online, but without the railroad building aspect or all the bugs. And I was, I was reasonably excited about it, or not excited is the right word, but I was sort of going, yeah, okay, I'm keeping an eye on this. We'll see what it turns out to be. And then I watched the update video where they talked about increasing the map by a substantial amount, and they showed off some of the AI, and I went, you know what, this is really cool. I hope this has simulation physics half as good as Derail Valley, and it's going to be fantastic to do in multiplayer. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it a lot. I might not be a day one buyer, but once we have a sort of a save going, or once a bunch of people have it and are going, oh, we gotta play this, I'm sure I'm gonna pick it up, and then we'll get a save going in the server, sort of like we did the MDIV. I've screen capped a clip of Bankman. If it's short enough, I'll post it in streaming recording after the stream. You can post it right now. I want to see it. Then you can get your live slug reaction for me watching myself pick up the cat. You know, I am reasonably excited for Railroader. I'm not one to get super hyped over a game most of the time. I can't even think of a game right now that I'm like giddy over, and that includes Century of Steam, which I am, pretty excited about. Oh, I want to crop it. Oh, okay. I thought it was just ready for post and you were going to hang on to it. But yeah, I mean, between Century of Steam, Derail Valley, Railroot, Railroader, and Trainz, excuse me, certainly my complement of train-related games that I'm, looking forward to in some capacity is high. There's definitely plenty of good content out there for me to play and even watch. In fact, for those of you, and I should have advertised it a little bit stronger at the beginning of the stream even, but for those of you that have been watching Heist play Derail Valley, I'm hoping that my Persistent Jobs playthrough will be a little bit like that, but a little bit more sane. So hopefully we will have a Derail Valley, but head is on straight, because oh my god, the stuff that Heist has been doing has been frightening. And of course he's just blowing stuff up, like, ES&D. I mean, yes, we should have wacky hijinks on the Iron Horse and Railroad, but Oh, speaking of which, we've got coffee shop on Monday, and I don't have very much written. I don't have a full chapter done, so I guess I'm going to work on it over the weekend. I'm probably going to take my laptop to the beach, because we're going on Saturday, and I might just vibe in the beach house for a while. And work on trading cards, and work on writing, and that sort of thing. tether my phone, or tether my laptop with my phone. At least until I run out of battery, then I get to go and do other things. It depends how long we're going to be there. And failing that, I have all of Sunday. Because I'm pretty sure Gloria is going to work Sunday, and I'm going to not work Sunday, thank goodness. Oh, thank God. Tomorrow's Friday. I thought today was Friday for a little while. I really was. I'm so looking forward to this week to be over. I mean, every week that passes is a week that I get closer to going out to the Narrow Gauge convention, and that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. I haven't been able to plan anything around that because I'm not doing like all of the fun, wacky, touristy stuff that Heiss's gang is doing. But at least I'll get to sit down and do some recording stuff and see stuff at the museum and all that jazz. Alright. I literally had cat hair all over my hands, and then I touched my eyes, and I have cat hair. I can feel cat hair, like, on my eyes. Mopac, you made it with 2 minutes to spare. Play the demo. Yeah, no, I might be able to play the demo. I don't know if there's going to be a line or whatever. I don't even know if I'm going to the actual convention. I don't have, like, tickets or anything. I'm just going to be in town. I don't know if... Does the convention need tickets? I don't know how that works. I don't even know where the damn thing is. I mean, I guess I'll probably be going there with Wybold. Or doing whatever Wybold's doing. Because I'm staying with him, so... there's no escape. What got done this week anyway? A lot of moping around and fixing my settings after the Trainz update changed them. And then realizing that if you turn the graphics up at all my track work looks like crap. Because the textures all clip into one another. So I've got to figure out what to do about that. Forceful patronage, yeah. Yeah, I'm probably just going to end up being like a tag-along. I don't really have any firm plans, but Wybold's on vacation, so I haven't been able to discuss with him yet. And I have been very, very reticent to bug Mark because I'm very hesitant to bug Mark because man's been a little busy with stuff. Maybe. Just a little bit. The last time we spoke was the Railway Empire 2 stream. Which, again, fun game. Not really my cup of tea, I guess, but fun game. I've been trying to convince him to do, like, Factorio or... Well, I know he did one episode of Factorio. I guess it didn't do too well because he didn't do another one. I didn't really look at the stats on that. Force him to do, like, OpenTTD. I would love it if we did OpenTTD. But I've always wanted to do Merger Mania with him, or with, like a Royale with him. Alright. Let's see. We are at 10 o'clock, and this is where we've made it. We have filled in a little bit more of this stuff, and next episode... we're probably going to be working in here. But we can do royales at a distance. In fact, they're better done at a distance, so... that will be perhaps something for after, when things aren't crazy. Anyway, excuse me. Burping. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week.